This video and those to follow will answer what is Quitchet and why is it so unique and different. Well, Quitchet is a search app for real estate and a website that does provide unique features to consumers and realtors. As you can see, there's no advertising. This is the realtor version, and there are 3 versions of Quitchet: realtor, consumer, and manager. This one shows the dashboard for the realtor with access to their active customers, comparing homes, their own listings, showings both past, present, and future, and the closer function once they get to that point of working with buyers or sellers. Now let's look at the difference in the dashboard for the consumer. So here is the consumer's dashboard that you can immediately see has some different features. Consumers can use My Wish List and My Basic Needs and set those for their searches. They have seller tools if they are a person with a house listed or that has been listed in the past. They can manage agents, meaning they can search for agents and connect with an agent of their choice, as this particular buyer has. And once they're connected, they will always show on their home screen, and they'll be able to click in one call to their agent. They can compare homes also. They also have the showing information for all of their showings they have upcoming or in the past. And once they get to the closing process, they can access all the information in the closer. So this is the difference. But what do they have that's the same as the realtor version? They all have the search capability with the map, of course, with some great detail information for any home. They can go in and look at all this information. But also, they have their favorites, which they provide many functions there in the favorite screen, including requesting showings, driving by houses, and putting houses into their compare function. Saved searches, which of course they can set up alerts to save searches and send them notifications of price changes or anything that meets their needs. And then the message function, which not only records messages for each individual buyer to seller or seller to their agent or buyer to their agent, but also it records home chats, meaning that if they have discussed a home, it will give the conversations about that home and keep that in a file for that agent for their records. Now let's look at how the buyer and the agent and the seller all benefit from many of these unique Quitchet features. Let's look at showings. Anyone can schedule through Quitchet to their agent or to the listing agent. And Quitchet is a Your Listing, Your Lead app or website, meaning that if they are not connected to an agent, they will always reach the listing agent with their questions and comments about a home or to try to schedule a home. In this case, let's go to this agent's showings screen. Here you see it says requested. So someone has requested a showing, these 2 people, so they select this one. They want to view and schedule, and they see that this particular person has requested a particular time and day that they would like to see this. So if they want to see this and it's today and it works for the agent, they can select that time, or they could choose a custom time and date that fits within those hours or time that works for them. Then they simply set the dwell time of that house. Let's say they feel like they'll stay 45 minutes in this particular one. They move on to the next screen. Then they select the home. Now, if this was a series of homes, they would select the first home they would like to see in that series, and then Quitchet would set the route for them and schedule it appropriately as to when they would arrive at that house and when they could leave and go on to the next house. Now, with a full setup and a full scheduler in place, this could either click to go to that scheduling service, and that could be Quitchet's scheduling service, or connected to other scheduling services. Also, if this agent has not used a scheduling service, they can click on it and look to see, here's the specific appointment setter phone number, and they could call that with one click. But once they have made the call, either automated or manually, and they've confirmed it, then all they have to do is hit and save and notify the client. And at that point, the message has been sent to that buyer. It says they can export it to their calendar, and that buyer also receives this and can export it to their calendar. They have directions to that home, and they are ready to move forward with a scheduled showing. So this is just one feature out of the dashboard for the agent and for the consumer of how they work together using Quitchet. Now here on the dashboard, we can also see how a listing agent would access to manage their listings and schedule the showings for their listings or put in all the data needed. All they would do is go to their listings, and this could be one or it could be 50 or 100 listings for that agent. They would go to manage them. Then they would go into the tab that says manage or schedule their showings. Once they click that, it would give them all the information they need to put in here on this screen. They also have settings where they can decide if they would like the buyer to review the feedback before it goes on to the seller, and if they would like be the agent to review the buyer's feedback and who it would be sent to. And also, when they check out of the home, the showing agent, this is where the listing agent would control how and who gets notified about that showing being over. And they can add as many contacts as they want. They can put yes at checkout or yes at check-in or no to either. And so another feature within the scheduling process with Quitchet. Next, let's take a look at the active customer list, so the little mini CRM, so to speak, that Quitchet provides. Here you go into your active customers. You can see all these customers, and what the agent can do is put a star rating on them, meaning that rates them by their activity level. So if they have a current active buyer or seller, then of course they would want them to be 3 stars. They could use 2 stars for one that would be looking in the future, maybe 1 star or 0 stars for those that have bought in the past, and the agent determines that. But within this dashboard, they can call that buyer with one click of a button, or they could message them within Quitchet with the message feature. They can write notes on that buyer and find out that this is the person that they are meaning to talk to, or put notes on their children or whatever it may be. But they can also look at that buyer's favorite homes. When they look at their favorite homes, it allows them, the agent, to request showings on that buyer's behalf and schedule it through and send them notifications of a verified and confirmed showing that's coming up. The buyer gets this same screen and can request that to their agent or to the listing agent. So this is just another one of the many features within the dashboard of Quitchet, and what helps the buyer and the seller and the agent all communicate together. So in the process of communication, both questions being asked or scheduled showings, the buyer and the agent always get a notification in that section of Quitchet. They go to their notifications and they see that a new message has been sent, or they had requested showings, or whatever the case may be. When they click on that notification, they will see that it goes straight to that message section of that particular home. They go in and they see that they got the confirmation. Now let's look at what happens to a home when it goes into the closer. So the buyer's agent opens up their closer, they move it into closing, and then it's in their list of their buyer's closings as opposed to their selling closings. They go in and they can manage this closing. They can look at the closing parties and then contact those people with any questions, but better yet, they can schedule anything they want from any type of contractor that is needed for that closing process. Once they are selected and saved, then it will create a pre-written merge field email out of the app to that particular service provider. And then when it comes back as confirmed, then it is very easy to just go in, change it to confirmed, and at that point it goes to the buyer, export to their calendar so they will know the time and date of that particular appointment. So again, another feature and just a part of the closing feature with Quitchet. In the next video, we will go back and look at some specifics on the buyer's agent and the connection with their customer and the use of that dashboard for that customer, including the compared homes, which you will note is also usable and accessible to the agents.